Hello everyone, welcome back to Build and Repair and Restore. Thanks for watching, hope you guys enjoy the content. If you do, make sure you give us a like, don't forget to subscribe, and you can also join the channel for exclusive content. Good morning guys, welcome back. It's a beautiful, sunny, warm Saturday and I'm on a quick little job that I'm doing here on my own today. I'm going to be recoating a fiberglass roof. So I'm on my own. I've got all day to do this, so I'm going to try and take my time and sort of run through the steps. Many people have asked about doing something like this. Fiberglass roof, can I recoat it? It's looking rough, it's looking sort of whatever. It's leaking, can I just recoat it with the top coat? I'll try and explain and give you some answers on that stuff. And yeah, let's try and get this roof done today. So I'm going to show you guys the state of this roof, and I'm going to explain what I'm going to be doing today. Alright guys, so this is the roof. It is roughly about 4 meters or 4.5 meters maybe wide, 4.5 meters by about 7 meters long. Probably looks a little bit bigger than it is on the camera, but it's a good size. It's got all these vent sort of mushrooms. That's how it was designed. Don't know why the layout is sort of so random, but who knows. But yeah, this is basically what the roof is. So you can see, if you look up close, the top coat. I had a look at this the other day, and you can see the top coat peeling really badly. See, I can pull it off here. Really badly. You can see a bit of fungus growing there and so on. It's just peeling really bad. I've been told that this was only done once. This loft was built and this is the original roof. It's not been touched since it was done. You can see the pigeons live here. When I came up here, all the pigeons were chilling out here. For some reason, they like to chill on this roof for some reason, but I'm not sure about that. There is some sort of weird sort of things here. For instance, looked around here, like you've got some sort of, I don't know, it looks clear. It looks like another layer over here, or this could be the original paint that was done. I don't know. I really don't know. It's really hard to say what's gone on here. I think someone at some time has gone over this with some stuff. And I think the real issue here has been that whoever's done it has not mixed this properly. I don't think there was enough catalyst in this, and this is probably why this is sort of gone like this. Again, I'm making a guess on what I think has happened. These mushrooms, they're sort of made with some sort of fiberglass or some kind of plastic, but you can see they've been peeling off here as well. So I'm going to tidy them up. We'll sand this and we'll sort of tidy them up. Once I have cleaned all around these areas, I'm going to check for any damages sort of in the fiberglass. When I did come up here and have a quick look the last time, the fiberglass itself actually looks solid. It feels quite solid. Doesn't look like it needs replacing or anything. So we're going to just sort of clean it up, sand it down, and then give it sort of a fresh top coat, and hopefully it should be good to go. There's a nice big one over there, you can see in the distance, which looks quite good, and that's how we want ours to look. So yeah, so first thing is going to be get the scrapers out, start doing some scraping. I need to clean up all what these pigeons have left behind for me, and then I'm going to have to get down and start sanding this. So this is the sandpaper I'm going to be using, and this is what I'd recommend for someone doing something like this. It is the brown stuff, and it's a P60 grit, so it's quite coarse, and I think this is sort of a good level grade to use for something like this. You don't want to go crazy with this. I'm actually going to be sanding this by hand. You can use a machine if you want. I'm going to go by hand because I just have a bit more control, and to be honest, for me this is not too difficult to do by hand, because you're not trying to remove the top coat itself. You're just trying to get all these sort of flakes off. Number one, you're going to get all these flakes off, and you want to key it down for the new paint to take. but also you don't want to be breaking through the fiberglass, because there could be very thin layers in certain areas. I didn't do this. I don't know how thick it's been done. And the last thing you want to do is to cut through the fiberglass and start creating holes and stuff like that. So I'll just give you an idea. So that's basically what you're after. It looks sort of patchy, but it's quite smooth, and yeah, that's what you want to key your paint into. All right, so you're not cutting through into the fiberglass. It's the last thing you want to do. So I'm going to give this a good old sand, clean it up, and then we'll come back and see what it looks like. Guys, I'm about halfway through this, and I just found a little area here where the GRP is delaminated. It's sort of like a circle here, and there's sort of, I think, another little bit here. It's kind of hard to see, but I don't know if you can see it sort of moving here. So there's sort of a little area here, and there's a little area here. So I mean, this really should be repaired. I think the ply or the OSB underneath is fine. It seems solid, doesn't seem spongy or anything. So I think I'm gonna cut this area out and just repair it for them. It will take me 15 minutes. I've got some fiberglass in the van. I'm just gonna get the multi-tool, cut this off, peel off this layer back to the board, and I'm gonna patch this with some fiberglass and resin, and then let that set for about 20 minutes, and then I can coat it when I'm doing the top coat. So I'm gonna cut that bit out now and show you what it looks like underneath. So this is dry underneath. The OSB does look fine, but you can see it's not stuck to the fiberglass. I'm gonna cut an area out, and then I'm gonna make a patch and repair this area. So the rest of that looks good. So yeah, I can do an easy patch there. There's another small area here. All these here. It's a little bit lumpy, but it's just this little bit here. Yeah, the rest of that's good. It's nice and solid. So yeah, come back and repair these bits in a bit. Alright guys, so I've done my rub down, cut out that area to be patched. So what I'm going to do is just give it a good sweep with a soft brush. Make sure you get all the dust off it. And sweep it all the way down and just collect it all up. Then I'm going to repair that patch, acetone the roof, and by the time we're done that, it's ready for the easy part really, or the quickest part should I say, not necessarily easy. You really do have to get your mixes right when you're doing this. It's not easy as just sort of slapping it down. Looking at the roof after I've been sort of sanding it and investigating it, you know, it's a bit rough. It's a bit rough, and definitely issues with the top coat. Obviously, we saw an issue with the fiberglass delaminating. I can see sort of strands of the fiberglass. I mean, it's buried in the resin, but you know, if you consolidate it properly, you shouldn't really see. You'll see a little bit here and there, but you shouldn't really be seeing the actual fiberglass as much as I'm seeing it. So also, all in all, it's been a bit rough, but it needs the UV protection. It's only going to look as good as the fiberglass is at the bottom. The paint doesn't really, it covers some imperfections, but it sort of, you still sort of see the print of what's underneath it. Yeah, but as long as it's watertight, that's the main thing. So it seems okay. Besides that little patch, but I didn't find any other areas. I didn't find any other areas that had any soft spots. I checked around all of these vents as well, and they seem to be fine. All the vents seem to be fine, which is good. I've also rubbed them all down as well, and I'm gonna give them a paint as well and sort of freshen them up, make them look nice as well. I'm also gonna put some sealant, some lead sealant, in the joint there between the deck and the ridge tiles as well. So it's sort of come away a little bit. Well, I'll use some flexible lead sealant just to seal the joint there as well while I'm up here. I'm sure you all have heard this before, but the prep work is the most important part of the job. It takes the most time usually. It tends to be the hardest part of the job, but it's important and worth taking your time to do all the prep work, all the elbow grease, to get a good finish and to get all your hard work to sort of work, you know, make sure the paint sticks to it. As I said, once I sweep this, I'm going to have to go over this with a rag and acetone the whole thing. I've got 2 bottles of acetone, so I've got loads, I should have enough. Wipe it all down, get all the dirt off, and then we'll be good to paint. So if you like this video, guys, really appreciate if you give us a like and also subscribe to the channel. And thank you for everybody who has subscribed to the channel and continues to support us. Whether it's a like, a comment, a share, a subscription, a membership, a Patreon, anything. Appreciate everybody for helping the channel out. And today, guys, I'm working in Putney, which is a nice part of southwest London. It's very quiet around here, but yeah, it's a nice part of southwest London. Okay, so our decking is prepped now. So I'm going to go grab some fiberglass. I'm going to show you guys how to repair that little patch. And then once I've repaired that patch, then give this all an acetone down. And I'll probably shoot it for some lunch. And then I'll come back and then we'll do the top coat. Okay, so got a few bits of fiberglass, just some little bits. Should be enough to do this, sort of patch that up. I've got enough there to sort of patch that up. I've got my hardener already in my dispenser, got my bucket, and I've got some resin in here. This stuff is very messy. So first thing we do is we use some acetone and we clean around the area just to take off any sort of fine dust before we do the resin. Gonna have to sweep again now. See the dirt. This is what I'm going to be using to clean the whole roof as well. Right, so I'm going to be using this. Can't seem to find my paddle roller, but I won't need one for this small little patch. Just use this. So what you do is let's see, resin. So this one says resin. I know you can't really probably see it. 450 grams, which is what I'm using. So if you need 1 meter squared, you pour the resin up to the 1. I mean, we're only using a little tiny little bit, so I'm only going to pour it probably a quarter of that. And then what you do then is you see where the reading is. So it's hot today, probably going to be 5 mil of hardener, and then we measure 5 millimeters from here by squeezing this and up to the 5, and pour it in, give it a good mix, and then it's ready to go straight away. That's more than enough for what I need. So as I said, I'm going to use 5 milliliters of hardener, like that. Let's mix it with this. Let's give it a really good mix. So the fiberglass resin starts off green, and as it starts hardening, it starts going brown. So once you see it start changing color, you know you haven't got a lot of time left. So what I do is put this on. Just really soak the wood. Because you really want it to soak through the fiberglass. So I'm going to use this, make it go over a bit. And probably just do that bit overlap it here. And go on nice and thick. Probably pour some of that. Okay. So what you're looking for is the fiberglass changes color and goes see-through. That's when it's really soaked through. And then it starts getting soft, and it allows the strands to sort of lay down flat. So the idea is that the resin and the fiberglass strands sort of fuse together, sort of like become one. That's what you're looking for. Should hit the edges. So I've come all the way out to here, and all the way out here, around here, around here. Let's make sure you surround the patch. So you want to make sure you're not seeing any white bits. If it's white, it hasn't really soaked through yet. You can give it a minute. Now, if this had leaked and it had gone too far, the wood might have gotten rotten. So if the wood gets rotten, you do have to cut that out and make a patch of the rotten areas. You've got to remove it all and patch that area before you do this. But the wood is perfectly fine underneath, so that wasn't necessary. And as I said, I'm just sort of doing this as a favor, really, while I'm up here, because it makes no sense sort of walking past something like this and then painting over it. If it was anything bigger, then the customer would have to pay for it, but you got this stuff in the van, it takes 10 minutes. So. Yeah, so if I had my paddle, I'd hit this with the paddle, which is good, but I can't seem to find it anywhere. But yeah, with this small little patch, it will be fine. paddle does make it sort of sit down a little bit better, make it look a little bit neater, but it'll be fine as it is. Alright, that's it. So we let that dry and be ready to paint over. So while that's drying, I'm going to seal the ridge tiles with some of that lead sealant, and I'll show you me doing that now. So I'm just using some of this lead sealant. It's a grey in colour, so it will match the floor, the roof deck good. And I'm just going to give it a bead in the fine crack in the joint there. So this is the fiberglass. It's already getting hard already. It's just a little tacky, but this is probably, I don't know, 3 minutes after, 4 minutes after I've done that. So you can see it drying already. So it's quite warm today. So we'll give this a little while. I'm going to pop off for lunch. By the time I come back, that will be nice and dry. I'll give it light sand just to sort of nice to smooth it up. Acetone this whole roof, and then paint our top coat. Job done. So deck's been cleaned. I gave it another sweep down as well. Took all the little bits of lint off and stuff. Now I'm ready to mix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit all the edges, down the sides, up the tops, around the gutter. Also, all of these, I'm going to paint all of these and paint around the bases. Get them done first with the small roller and my brush. So I'll make a sort of a smaller mix. Then I'll do my big mixes, and I'll use my 12-inch, I think it is, roller, and I'll do all the sort of large areas all in one hit. So I've got to move quick with this because it's quite warm here, and I don't want to mix too much at a time to waste it, because if it sets on you, it will waste, and this is quite expensive. So you want to sort of do less than more and then make more mixes as you go along. So we're doing top coat, which is the left hand side. It clearly says top coat. Mix how many square meters we're going to use. I think this deck is about 25, 26 square meters, so that's about that much. So I'm going to start off down here, sort of like maybe 8, and hit all the edges. I do have another sort of half tin in the van just in case this doesn't make it. So it's going to be close, but I've got some more. Once I mix that, my brush, I'll be ready to go. Also, our lead sealant is setting nice around there as well, so I'll just cut around the edges of it. I'm going to hit the edges up here first. When you're doing this, try and keep this in the shadows. If there's no shady area, try and keep it in your shadow or something. because when the sun starts hitting the bucket, it does speed up the curing time if it's in direct sunlight. So try and sort of keep it under some sort of shadow if you can. The stuff is going to dry quite quick. This deck is really hot. Another tip for you guys, so you don't get stuck and you're well prepared when you're doing this, make sure you've got brushes or rollers spares. Don't think you can get away with one brush and one roller, because that first brush, because it's so hot out here, it's rock hard. Before I had even time to mix this second batch, it's gone rock hard, so it's no good. Especially because I have no shade here to sort of put my tools in. So I had to throw that brush away and get another one. So make sure you've got a couple of brushes. I always make sure I got at least 3 brushes in case. Last thing you want is in the middle of this, you run out of brushes or rollers, and you now got to leave this and go and get brushes and rollers and stuff. So alright guys, so I've done all the edges with this small one, hit all the sides all the way around, and now I'm going to start doing the main deck. I'll keep using this roller while I've got it, I might as well, still good. And these rollers are the ones that come from the manufacturer. They're really good for these, they roll them really well. If you haven't got one, I would suggest a medium pile roller to do this. guys, this is the end of the day. Job is done. I'm very happy how it turned out. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like, and hope you guys learned something from this. If you want to do something like this, you've got the steps, and hopefully you should get a good job done on your house as well. So let's have a look. So we've done all the way up to the drip, and as you can see, all the vents are being done as well. They're looking good, all nice and uniform. You can see the sealant up there done as well. So yeah, it's come out good. Show you a little bit of a close-up of the if I can, without too much shadows here. You can see what it looks like. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Job done. I am off. Time packed up, clean up, go home, and hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.